Oh,
It's 6 o'clock.
I know it's 6 o'clock.
that's good.
Yeah,
It's free agency time.
Take this one.
Yeah.
I can't see Gamaro now.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Hey, scoot it over. Who's this one?
What about that?
No, turn.
Yes, sir.
It's Sunday night. So you know what that means.
We're looking for free agents.
Welcome to the Garage Department. Sports and entertainment with your favorite partners. I am the Funky Militant, Darren Jones. And as always, I got the tribe with me.
Hey.
So let them know who you are.
Yeah, that's peace. The boy Mom Nizzle.
D-Mac back better than ever.
It's a mod.
Why is this so different?
I don't get it.
It's a
I got
mod.
stage fright.
Oh, okay.
It's a mod.
I gotta get this back.
It's alright, can't see number shirt
It's
anyway.
because he has his Metroid shirt.
It's the shirt, don't worry.
I don't know what that is. Is that a fish? Is that a rose? What is
I
that?
don't know. Look,
It's
I
like
think it's
a
a Marlin.
Call of Duty with a
Hey, pass this to him.
Yes, indeed.
What's that brother's name?
I would say we also got our intern. We have our international man of the year, the one that I am quite impressed with, is straight over the pond, Nigel, with his extensive knowledge of statistics and his ability to recite them off on demand. Our evangelistic scholar. They call him Nigel, the priest.
What up?
Nigel the priest. Are you from the Midwest or you from Houston? Oh, no.
He told you that last
You from
week.
Houston, but you go to school in the Midwest.
Yeah, he told you that last week.
Yeah, because he said he was a Rockets fan, and I was already don't be listening. I was a
He
bit
told you
confused.
exactly where he was from last week. What
Yeah,
high
I
school he went to,
remember,
man.
man.
What the Summer League high school.
Summer 3. I got a wife and kids, man. I don't remember stuff like that. Anyway, we are here each and every Sunday night from 6 to 7 Central Standard Time. Be sure to check us out on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. And check out our new website, thegarageapt.com.
I mean, I don't know how new it is.
You can also hit us up live, 713-489-0688.
Been in the game for a while.
You got any questions, any comments, any feedback?
I mean, it's our website. I don't know how new it is, but it's our website.
Man, it's new, man.
I mean, it's been
It's like 97.9. It's always new, no matter what.
No, yeah, I know. I do laugh at those other commercials. They be like, "The old news." So I be like, "Man, this station 4 years old. Is it still new?"
Exactly.
Anyway,
So it's our website.
hit us up 713-489-0688.
Our website's 4 months old, I'm sorry. So I guess it's new.
So now.
Our baby.
Rosebud,
We are in the middle
It
of
is-
free agency.
No, free agency just started. 6
Free
o'clock.
agency literally started at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time.
It's an hour in.
The
And-
biggest news breaking thus far
And
is
we just signed our free agent, Nigel. Our garage department.
what our biggest announcement thus far is Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and DeAndre Jordan
Shout out H-Town.
That's okay.
are headed to the Brooklyn Nets.
What you said all day?
So they have DeAndre and Jared Allen?
And Jared Allen.
they
Yes,
do.
they do.
That's
And
a-
still Spencer and
that
still
is-
Joe Harris as of now.
That's a big front line.
And Garrett Temple. They got a little length.
That's a big front line,
Can they shoot free throws?
That they get buckets.
Kyrie and Durant are the
Spencer
only
and
ones
Joe
that
Harris
can
for sure.
So are we gonna be back to the hacker DeAndre again?
Actually, he's got good. He's got good.
He's got
I checked that the other day. He's,
Hacker
77.8 free throw percentage.
Okay, I got a legitimate question here.
See, wait, first off, we not gonna talk over like my man didn't just throw that stat out here off the dome.
did off the top of the dome.
Off the top of his
Okay.
head, that's impressive, man. If I had the round of applause, I could hit the
It's
decimal.
Nigel, the world almanac of basketball.
Wikipedia.
Well, let me ask Nigel this. Who is Thomas Bryant?
Thomas Bryant, he's a center for the Wizards. Probably know him back then. He was drafted by the Lakers, but you know, Lakers always letting the young players go. Wizards picked him up. He signed a 3-year, $25 deal with the Wizards. Could be a nice little center.
NBA, I am a free agent.
I ain't never heard of this man.
And nobody has to score anything. I'm a free agent.
6'11"
for
from
real.
Indiana.
Yeah, from Indiana. He played.
Second round pick.
He played on the team with like right after Oladipo. Like,
Dude's got 12 a year.
he was with Nigel Hayes and like Sam Decker.
This man averaged 10, 6, and 1. Then 1 is an assist.
Yeah, he's more offensive game.
That's my nephew.
He's solid. He's solid.
That's my nephew. He's in
Oh.
no. Well, see, look, you blame it on my nephew. It ain't even him. The second one was DRZ. Bruno Mars was him.
Hey, DRZ. Where are you now?
Oh, what about? I don't know what you're talking about.
So,
Yeah, we have Garrison.
y'all remember Daniel Orton? Daniel Orton played what? How many minutes? And he was getting $2 million a year.
Daniel who? The
Yeah.
wrestler?
Daniel Orton, he played for the Magic. He
The wrestler?
Remember Daniel Orton from
Nah, that's Randy.
No, I don't remember him at Kentucky either.
Exactly. He
That's,
played.
That's when they had the most in the first round. It was Orton.
Yeah, that's when Kentucky had like 10 players on the first round.
And
Michael Kidd, Gilchrist,
none of them were good when they leave there.
AD.
Who?
AD turned out in.
And then he gets hurt.
Gilchrist was okay. He just went to
What do
Charlotte.
you mean none of them turned out good?
Yeah, I know.
They all turned out good.
Kentucky got good league
From
time.
Kentucky. Orton might be the worst one, and he's still in the league.
Thank you. He's still in the league getting $2 million a year. And he literally does not get off the line.
All right, we're about to ask the Atlas. How many points Orton scored in his whole career in the NBA?
I just told you this one dude
No,
averaged
how many? Okay, how many
He
does
got maxed
Michael
out.
Gilchrist average in the NBA?
Gilchrist?
12, 13.
Are you trying to say these guys don't belong in the NBA?
I didn't say that. Anybody belongs in the
No,
NBA.
anybody does not belong in the NBA.
Okay, anybody does belong in the NBA.
That's your problem.
I'm saying,
These guys.
everybody, y'all pageant these dudes as good. No, if you're in the NBA and you want to be good in my eyes, you have to go over 15 points. Oh, come on. Good Lord. What do you mean, good Lord?
You got 15 shots, bro.
15 points. You almost an all-star.
Exactly. That's good.
Man, you not gonna see. Everybody can't be an all-star. They with 22 spots.
Don't have to be an almost all-star. You can be though. Stop.
I know it's hard to score 15 when you only get 4 shots.
The most improved player. Who was the most improved player this year?
Pascal Siakam.
How many did he average per game?
He averaged 17 points.
Yeah, like
per game.
17 points per game.
After averaging 7 points the first.
Last year.
Yeah, but that's all he had a coach who didn't believe in him. But it wasn't because he couldn't play.
They all have coaches believing in them because they get drafted first round.
All you need is opportunity. It don't mean you can't play.
You get opportunity and then you don't get it because you can't play.
Man, you're not gonna sit here and tell me, like we said, Daniel Orton was probably the worst out of that draft.
We just
Out
gonna
of that
start
class.
at, we just gonna start at what? Let's say 2009. You wanna start there?
Start
You
wherever.
wanna start College Stein? That's
Hold
a good one.
on, let's
You know
do
what
the
I'm saying?
first five. Yeah, do the first five from 2009. First five.
2009, you got Jody Meek still playing, John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, Patrick Patterson, Eric Bledsoe, Daniel Orton, Enos Cantor, Brandon Knight. Every single one of them still playing. Every single one of them. Hold on.
Still playing.
Every single one of them still producing. Every single one of them still producing. 1, 2, 3 of them have
Who's
made
producing?
All-Star games.
Who's producing?
Who's producing?
John Wall was producing. Don't
John
act like
Wall
he not
didn't play.
producing.
Well, he got hurt.
He got hurt, but don't act like
Oh,
he wasn't producing.
so now because he missed one.
Okay, no.
6
Okay,
months,
John Wall.
he
Okay, this is y'all's producing. He's producing so
That was
much.
2009.
No, he's producing so much. The best player on their team is about to leave.
That's because he don't like playing with
Actually,
him.
Bradley Beal announced he wanted to stay with
DeAndre Liggins, 2011. Anthony
They're not
Davis,
going anywhere.
Michael Kidd
Yeah,
Gilchrist,
you're
Terrence
true.
Jones. That was a bad one. That was a Rockets.
Oh, breaking. Tobias Harris, 5-year, $180 million deal to stay with the Philadelphia
Nah,
76ers.
that means Jimmy's gone.
Jimmy
Butler.
So now is that what do you do with
Jimmy
Rockets?
Jimmy's
So I'm
gone.
taking pay.
Jimmy buckets to the Rockets. Yeah.
Man, let him
he's
stay
going
with
to the
Jimmy
Heat.
Buckets. He going to the Hawks on y'all. Y'all gonna be mad.
The Hawks. Yeah. If he goes to the Hawks, I'm not mad.
For real.
Not at all.
Yeah, you are. You
I
gonna
like
be
that
mad
young
because they're gonna be
corner,
crying when the Rockets get stomped once again.
Not by the Hawks.
You're right, because they in the East. They don't play them but twice a year.
That's huge for
Bro, this man
76ers.
just put out. Calipari's a beast, bro.
Thank you. When you look at this draft, man,
bro, like
he averaging what 5 in the first round for the past
like
7 years.
And none of them are starters except like 2. None of them are
Okay,
starters.
would you like me to simply name the All-Stars? Because they're more than 2.
I can give you 3 starters.
Okay, starting in 2009, they had Walt Cousins, okay? You got Anthony Davis. You got Karl Anthony Towns. You got,
That's where you stop.
That's where the All-Stars stop.
And that's
But we
four.
all know Jamal Murray is an All-Star.
Do we?
Yes, we do.
No.
Devin Booker is not going to be an All-Star?
No.
Okay, well, he puts out 70 games. Amazing. Okay, Malik Monk was very good out there.
Was he an all-star?
Kevin Knox is gonna be an all-star.
Not Ghana. Was he an all-star?
No, they played 2 years. They played 1 year.
I can give you their all-star.
And he was an all-star first.
Give us their all-star.
AD, John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins. Who else? That's 3 off the top.
Again,
I think.
I stopped.
I just.
Carl Anthony Towns.
And everybody says he's
Who? Eric Bledsoe? Man,
stop it. Eric Bledsoe. No.
That's Baby Braun. That's what they call him.
Eric Bledsoe. Who else? They're saying he's the reason why they lost.
He is. 'Cause he can't shoot. But
He can't shoot. Neither can John Wall.
it's true. That is true.
And Carl Anthony Towns is the reason why Jimmy Butler left.
Karl Anthony Towns is cold as
No,
it don't matter.
He's cold. He's just soft. Once he mentally
And he's
gets down,
cold, bro.
nice.
And who can Jimmy? But y'all talking like Jimmy Butler is somebody. He ain't nobody. Jimmy Butler.
You
You're gonna have to stop hating on Jimmy Butler.
Hey, y'all be talking like because Jimmy Butler left. So what does that say when teams don't really want him?
Really? Who didn't want him?
Who? Yeah, who
I
doesn't
know
want?
everybody wants
Who
him.
didn't
What are you
want
talking
him?
about?
Why he leave Chicago?
To go to a veteran because
He didn't want
I'll
either.
tell you right now, because the coach sucked.
He didn't
And
want
to
to
get
be
out of
there.
Chicago.
And in Minnesota, he was fighting his teammates because they were soft.
Okay, call it what you want. So now he done been in 3
And
different
the coach sucks
situations.
there too. Is the same coach.
He has been in 3 different situations, and he finna get rid of. He finna leave all of them.
No, and now
Kevin
he's a
Durant's
free
going
agent.
on his third.
Who?
Kevin Durant, LeBron James going on his third.
That's different though.
How is that different?
Cause they done got championships. How many times I gotta tell you that?
And so that's what Jimmy's doing.
You cannot be a
Yes,
B
Jimmy's
word
doing.
and not
And
win.
they didn't get their championship till they moved, bro.
Be that as
Till
it
they
may.
moved. What you mean you can't be a B word?
Wait,
Michael
wait,
Jordan,
wait,
we
wait.
discussed Michael Jordan is the biggest one. And
Michael
he's the
Jordan got
biggest
6
winner.
championships. Exactly. Michael Jordan's got 6 championships.
That boy Kevin Durant. That boy Kevin Durant got beat by the Warriors.
Thank you. You can be a butthole when you winning.
Winning solves everything. So.
That okay? So they didn't win. So what? He's just a butthole now.
Well, I think he was a
Kevin
butthole
Durant.
beforehand.
Kevin
He was a
Durant a butthole.
butthole. Michael Jordan was a butthole when he was losing. He was a butthole when he was winning. It didn't change. Just because he won, it didn't change. Just because you accept being a butthole
You're
when
right.
he wins don't matter.
It don't change him being a butthole. But you can be more of a butthole with championships
Cool.
than you
So
can
Jimmy
with
Butler
none.
can still
Otherwise,
be
you
a
just a B
butthole.
word who just acting like a B word.
And Jimmy Butler will be a B word and then win a championship and then all of a sudden it's okay.
Yeah,
Overnight.
pretty much.
That's absurd.
Ask Kobe and Shaq.
That's
Ask
absurd.
Kobe and Shaq.
Shaq was never a B word to me.
And Kobe is still a B word.
And why did they tolerate it as long as they did? Because they was getting championships.
Because Gene
Nobody-
The moment they
At
wasn't
that
getting,
point.
the moment they wasn't getting championships anymore, what happened? They broke up.
they shipped the wrong.
No. They broke up, which is why they didn't get
No,
championships.
they
anymore.
stopped getting championships. Is why they broke up.
I forgot. I can't talk to this man about basketball.
Did we not see that? They lost what?
What?
3 after that. They lost to Detroit. They lost to San Antonio 1 year. They lost what?
They won again though.
Shaq and Kobe didn't win no more.
They lost the Boston.
When they started losing again, they sent Shaq on because they decided they wanted to keep. They decided they wanted to keep Kobe.
They lost.
Kobe wasn't winning the thing again until he went and got another big man.
True. Very true. Very true.
Yes.
So
Or he said big man until he went and got a second star.
call it what you want.
I agree.
Being a butthole is cool as long as you win.
Yep.
You can't be a butthole and not win.
So Kobe was a butthole before. He won with Shaq. It's all good. He lost Shaq. Wasn't winning. He was a butthole again, and it was a problem.
Yep.
No.
What I'm saying is, people will tolerate you being a butthole if you bring in them championships.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler ain't bringing no
That's
championships.
understood. What I'm saying is that they weren't bringing championships till they won the championship,
Not to
bro.
mention Jimmy Butler.
That's all
ain't
I'm
been
saying.
Good. Why y'all making like
Butler's
Jimmy
not
Butler?
that good.
No,
That's
what
the
you think
truth.
about Jimmy Butler? Because I think he's crazy.
I didn't say he's a
not that
superstar in
good.
the league because he puts up superstar numbers, but he's not.
That's it. Superstar numbers.
That's it.
But you said
Wait,
Listen.
I get killed on saying this.
He puts up superstar numbers. I think he's highly overrated though. He gets credit for doing what? What does Jimmy Butler do well?
I mean,
Put up
he's a great
superstar
player.
numbers.
Jimmy Butler, third, second best two-way player in the league.
Yeah,
Jimmy Butler is
arguable Paul George.
behind Kawhi and who else?
Probably arguable Paul George.
Ain't no arguable behind Paul George. So yeah, he number 3 maybe.
You should
I don't know.
get
I remember
credit for putting up
before a while
superstars.
back, it was always a debate between Jimmy Butler and Paul George. Obviously, last year Paul George had the Emmy year.
Wait,
so you think Paul George better than
Jimmy Butler, absolutely, Paul George is better than Jimmy Butler.
I agree now, but one point back then, when they were both when one was on the Pacers, the other was on the Bulls, it was a
No, the argument's not
He just
over.
made the argument for it.
No, I did not.
Jimmy
Because
Butler
everybody
puts
can
up
average
superstar
points in this NBA. Everybody
If they
can.
then they
If they could,
would.
they
They
would.
don't.
Apparently they can't because except for 4 Kentucky Wildcats.
No.
How many-
You're not going to take this argument
Put it like
for
this.
yourself.
Also, you
Put it
know
like
that
this.
Rajon Rondo was a Kentucky Wildcat.
How many
I
stars?
didn't want to go back there though.
Did he average double
10 and 10. Nearly 10 and 9.
No, let's do it this way. Let's do it this way.
No,
Let's do it this way.
no,
That's a
that's
double-double.
He
Yeah,
discredited
basically.
Devin Booker, who put up 70 points. That's buckets. And then he discredited John Wall because he can't shoot. Well, which one you want?
I would rather Devin Booker.
Yeah.
I would
That's
rather
mine.
Devin Booker.
But anyway,
Let's put it this way.
Exactly, but
Let's put it this way.
Wait, so you wouldn't rather Devin Booker over John Wall?
Oh, yes, I'd rather Devin Booker.
Are you
If we're
serious?
talking right now, this
What does Devin Booker do with the
prior to
ball?
his injury, no.
Shoots.
He's an underrated playmaker too.
Big what John Wall was before.
He's an
No,
underrated
not.
playmaker.
He's an off-the-ball scorer.
Not
No, he didn't do a lot with
He's
the
a
ball.
point guard.
His
He's a
scoring
point
package
guard.
is about most leagues I've
Who's
seen.
not a 2-point guard?
John Wall is not a
Yeah,
true
go
point
home.
guard.
Oh, you
Go home. Go home.
tripping out.
How is he a true point
He
guard?
was averaging like a double-double.
No, he
No,
wasn't.
no,
Yes, he was.
no, he wasn't.
The last year when he was an
No.
All-Star, he was averaging a double-double.
Last year he was all no.
This is what I have to deal with, people.
Yeah, I know.
This is what we have to deal
Look
with.
up his
when we
numbers.
discuss
I'll put it this
Yeah.
way. This
No,
is
he was
my
just in 2016, 23.1 points, 2.7 assists. Year before, 19.9 and 10.2.
You just
Year
didn't
before,
see the man
17.6
last year, so you
assists.
forget about him, bro. He's still there.
What you talking? I did see him. I
He's still
saw.
there.
This is what I saw. When they played, all you had to do was stop at the free throw line and just look at it.
That's what I like to see. The Jamaican just waved off.
Just waved off the thing, gonna limp.
It's not really relevant, but Mike Scott,
He waved off
76
the
2-year,
Vietnam,
9.8 million deal.
He's long.
He's a good bench player for the
definitely go.
76ers.
Yeah, he's long.
He's definitely
Yeah, I think
gone,
Jimmy's
man.
gone.
You can't keep him
said
and
Tobias
Tobias.
Harris. Yeah, you can't keep.
He's going to Atlanta. Good riddance.
Yeah.
He's not going to let him.
My point is this:
He's either
Tyler
here or the
Rockets
Rockets at this point.
Right.
They got no money.
Yeah, he's going to Miami.
What you mean Atlanta ain't got no money? They got plenty of money. They ain't got no stars.
That's true. They do got enough for cap space. They were said to be
They got
considering
crazy cap.
DeMarcus
I would
Cousins.
say they ain't got no stars.
What are you, Trae Young ain't a star?
Trae Young is a star. He on a rookie contract.
Yeah, it's big time.
Oh, they ain't nowhere close to keeping
They
us
still
up.
pay. They still paying Dominique Wilkins.
Yeah, right.
They're still paying Jason Terry.
Yeah, right.
I promise you, they
I
probably are.
promise you they are not.
Yeah, okay.
Nobody in the league is still paying Jason Terry. Nobody.
What's his name? Still getting paid by the league?
I'm gonna tell you
this is last.
I'm gonna tell you who in
year.
Atlanta is paying Jason Terry. TNT.
I think this is last year. For real. I think this is last year. Gilbert Arenas is not getting paid by.
Now, Gilbert Arenas might still be on the contract. You
That
right.
boy finessing, man.
And he might still be on the
And he
contract.
got a podcast.
And he playing in the Big Three.
And he got done.
And he's going back to jail. Word. And he's going back to jail.
Anyway.
No, he doesn't. He ain't going back to jail. His ex-wife did.
So we got some major movement in the NBA. As you can see, our intern was updated.
Big news. They say the reason the Knicks were not prepared to offer Kevin Durant max contract was due to his Achilles injury.
Well, they had already said that.
That's
Yeah.
And they're idiots.
Nolan had already said he wanted to.
Nolan.
Nolan was tiptoeing around that, which is understandable. But you don't let that leak out.
And Barton question now is, who's the worst owner between Dolan and Jordan right now? Because they just
Dolan's horrible.
Dolan is by
Jordan is horrible. Look at that payroll.
No, Jordan just
talk about it.
But no, I'm gonna tell you why
Jordan
Jordan
doesn't
is
have
not.
talent at his job.
Because
Dolan
Jordan
is bad.
Jordan is trying. Dolan is not.
Not even trying. He's literally publicly.
I'm gonna just say all this payroll though, real quick.
Is
We
Jordan
were just
trying?
talking about it before we got on the air.
Jordan trying.
Nick Batum, 120 million.
So he's trying to get
30
better?
points per game.
No, Jordan. What's hurting Jordan is his market. His market is too small. Nobody wants to go to Charlotte.
No,
But you
no.
don't be loyal to the star that got this the biggest player.
No,
They said it was rumored they didn't even offer near the max for Kemba,
they weren't.
let alone the super max.
They weren't
Well,
gonna.
we all knew Kimba was leaving. At least I did. Who didn't know Kimba was
But
leaving?
you don't even offer
mean,
them at a
the
max.
max,
That's
that
just
means
different
you
for
gotta
everyone.
You got to at least give him the chance to stay. Offer him some
Offer him some money. Like, no, Jordan is just bad at his job, bro. Like, Dolan is just
Dolan's got a band.
person. Yeah, he doesn't care about
He's got
the
music to play.
He has
He ain't
bigger
got time for all that
things.
basketball.
He owns MSG. That's all he worried about.
Yeah, and then he doesn't have to worry about
He
it.
like don't MSG do the Yankees?
No, that's
No.
Yes Network.
Yeah.
That's yes.
Dolan got
But he
fined.
has his own MSG. He has his own Knicks network, which is basically.
He
the
like
same
nah.
thing.
Yes Network is. I thought that was Brooklyn. I thought that was
No,
that's the
MSN does
Yankees.
got
Yankees.
MSN.
No, MSG.
MSG.
Oh, okay, yeah, MSG does.
Yeah, MSG is the Knicks Network.
Yeah, MSG.
Dolan got fined by the NBA during the off season for not allowing media into press conferences.
He doesn't care.
Yeah, he don't.
So that's what I'm saying.
Like, why would I care? You banning fans from the games and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, because
Charles Oakley can't.
how long is that list?
They really try to like beat up Charles Oakley at the Knicks.
Charles Oakley tried to get
How
Durant
long?
over there. Like,
How long do you imagine the list to get a seat license? Just to put down on a license to get a seat at the Knicks game. For
5
season tickets.
5 years.
How long you
Knicks
reckon
fans
that?
are going.
20
Knicks fans are extra loyal.
Well, there's extra money in New York.
Yeah,
That's all
it
that
really-
matters.
So I mean, I don't know about the extra money.
Yeah, there's extra money because there's 10 million people there, so there's a lot of money, and then all the money is
I mean, that's only because the cost of living is so high. The money is high. They
Nah,
still
it's the other
broke.
way around.
Who?
They got money to
What you talking
spend.
about?
Who are we talking about?
I'm talking about the rich people in New York. I don't have to tell you what their
Their
surnames are and how many of them there are.
Yeah.
The people that run banking and
I want to say New York has the
Media.
most. What they say, New York
And
has
all
the
that
most
stuff.
billionaires in the world.
yeah.
But
Okay,
California
so
has
there's
the
money
most
in New York, so
billionaires.
people gonna buy season tickets. So Jimmy Dolan doesn't have to have a winner.
Oh, well, eventually he is.
No, he doesn't.
No, he's
Nobody's
gonna have
stop
to get
doing it.
rid of the
The
team.
Knicks ain't won since
That's what I'm talking
'73.
about. They gonna get him out of there.
But you
Knicks
can't
ain't
let
won
him out
since
when he
73.
owns the building.
Knicks ain't won.
He's gonna
since
sell the
73.
team. He's cool with that. But you still got to pay his rent, and that's the problem. People gonna want to have their own stadium, and they ain't gonna be able to do it.
Also, something to look at. They're saying that the Warriors are engaging with the Nets for a signing trade for Kevin Durant, and they might give D'Lo back.
the Warriors?
Yeah, I'm like, if I'm the Nets, no, like,
Or
just
give him
this
back.
out with me. Yeah, I need you to be making
Why
the
would
Warriors
you-
better.
They give who back?
D'Lo.
They might give D'Lo to the Warriors.
Oh, D'Lo.
D'Angelo Russell.
Oh, heck, why?
Yeah, don't help them.
When you
leave them.
oh nah, if they do that, talk about collusion.
They talking about him going to the Lakers.
Yeah,
But
which would be ridiculous as is.
He ain't the greatest point guard either.
he had a breakout year. He had a breakout year. He had a very
He's
good
not the
season.
best, but he's young and you could.
I know one thing. I know this.
Point guard.
He better than Mr. Ball. At
Oh,
the
yeah,
moment.
definitely.
Mr. Ball.
They got rid of Lonzo for D'Angelo, and look how that worked out.
However, all Lonzo has to do is show up and put up 20 points in New Orleans and 10 assists, and it would literally be the exact same thing D'Angelo Russell.
Absolutely, but it won't be in LA.
No, it won't, which is probably why D'Angelo Russell put up the points.
Hey, I
Come back to
know,
LA, that won't occur again.
Hey,
You're not
anybody-
getting the shots.
Hey, anybody else know that Anderson Silva is the coach for Panama?
No, it's you.
Anderson Silva?
Everybody's got a doppelganger, my friend. I'm pretty sure it's not
Hold on,
him.
wait till they show
DeMar
me.
Carroll has agreed to a deal with the
Anderson
San
Silva
Antonio
just
Spurs.
made a substitute.
Who is this?
DeMar Carroll.
Oh, man.
That's solid for them.
I guess he can't keep a position. Nobody want him either.
He was actually pretty solid with the Nets last year. It's just you know they moved on, so they couldn't bring him back.
Well, yeah, they got KD, Kawhi, and
well, KD, Kyrie.
I mean, not Kyrie. Excuse me, KD and Kyrie. Yeah, so they moved
So when
on.
is all this supposed to happen officially?
It's now.
It's now.
It's
It starts.
Yeah,
They
free
free-
agency starts.
No, everybody signed.
Yeah,
Today.
6 o'clock
At 6
today.
o'clock,
You
they
can
can
sign.
6 o'clock.
No,
The
AD stuff still not.
No, these people have
official
signed.
until July.
Well, yeah,
No,
the trades are official July
He's
6th.
signing a max deal.
Oh well, yeah. Nobody is. Well, I don't know. All of them say reached and agreed to.
And when is his estimated time of return?
July 6th.
The whole
So
year.
KD,
He's definitely out this
He's
20. He's definitely out this season.
So he's gonna miss that whole
next
season.
2021. That's it.
Kyrie and DeAndre Jordan.
2021.
Yeah, he still got the team that won.
Yeah,
and made
I think that's why they
the
partially signed Garrett Temple too. So that'll be interesting.
Muy interesante.
Alright, so we'll keep y'all abreast with the free
Nerlens
agency.
Noel has agreed to a deal to return to the Thunder.
Who is it?
Nerlens Noel.
Kentucky.
Travis Noel. Yep, that's another Kentucky
That's a
boy.
Kentucky.
No way. The
Julius Randle is also a
signed
Kentucky
anybody.
starter, and he balled last year, 20 and 8.
The Clippers still.
Julius Randle.
That's another Kentucky
What you
boy.
got?
Yo, I really think they're making up this stuff because I never saw Julius
No,
Randle.
Julius Randle had a.
You saw him do this?
There were little games where he
And then
was.
against the Rockets.
AD didn't
I
play.
ain't see this.
It was him and Oprah. AD didn't play.
I ain't see Okafor plays.
Yeah.
On the starts.
Shout out to Oprah.
Oh,
my fault. Yeah, no, not in Mecca.
Not in Mecca.
Not in Mecca.
Jaleel
Smart, sir.
I'm gonna say Okafor played though. We're not talking about in Mecca. They're cousins.
Hey, breaking news. Alright? Gerald
Yeah,
Green
right.
returning to the Rockets
That
for
is.
a 1-year deal.
Hold up, Jared.
So
Hold
you
up.
said the Rockets ain't doing
That's what I'm saying. They signed him.
I said everybody
They signed
getting
house.
better, but the Rockets. Look at the Rockets. Woo! Everybody
out
getting
of
better.
TG, Gerald Green.
Most of these
I'm
players.
saying they're not getting better than this.
Him and House returned back, but
I can tell you what, now ain't better than the Rockets.
So-
Breaking news: RJ Barrett requests a trade.
No.
He might. Not yet.
it will happen soon though.
They put it out there at least. He might have
I want to play for the Nets.
They went from Kyrie and KD to Quinn Cook and Reggie Bullock.
Yeah.
Oh man. Who?
Tough for the
There he is,
Knicks.
Anderson Silva.
Tough for the Knicks.
He
does have a twin, though. He literally has a twin though.
So now we'll
Twin
keep
is the
y'all.
assistant coach.
We'll keep y'all abreast with the free agency.
they
Twin is the assistant coach.
So now I don't know. I'm
He's
sure
not kicking.
this was deep on the back page of many of you all, but you know any real sports fans, they've kept up with this. The NCAA has just announced, well, not had just announced, but they have announced that if California, the state of California, votes and pass to allow its players, its collegiate players,
To make money off
to
of their
earn
life.
money off of their likeness, in other words, be paid, that they would ban the entire state and all schools participating in NCAA events. So now, I don't know if everybody understands how big of a deal that really is, how much revenue the state of California actually generates for NCAA, how many venues and events are actually held in the state of California, which would affect the NCAA. That is a big deal. So now, Ahmad, I know you had a position on it. What's your position, sir?
Well, my position first is this is a great thing.
I bought that just to say, let me first give it all to God.
The state
My
of
position
California is doing. The NCAA basically they're calling out the NCAA for unconstitutional practices that are against the Sherman Act and against free trade. I mean, this goes so much deeper than anything. First off, there's a bill in the California House of Representatives that states that college players would be able to use their likeness. They'd be able to sign autographs for money. They'd be able to do endorsements. That kind
Pay
of
for the video game.
Well, yeah. Currently there's no video games.
College is coming back. College is coming back.
NCAA football
Doug
is
Flutie
coming back.
maximum too. Doug Flutie getting his own like college football game.
Who's that?
Doug Flutie.
College
Doug
football.
Flutie is? Yeah,
He doesn't play anymore.
Yeah, but is he going to use people's likenesses or not? I mean, you can do a college football game and just have
I mean, but what is
players.
like this really?
Well,
My
this-
face, my number.
This all started with Ed O'Bannon.
Shout out.
Years ago, who was at a friend of his
Ties in.
home and saw some kids playing a classic
NCAA
game on the NCAA basketball game.
Got it
And he
killed.
said, hold up, what was Ed hold on. Charles was
Is he wearing 31?
Yes, that was him.
Ed
Is he
O'Bannon-
left-handed like me? Is he left-handed like me?
Is
He
he
got my
bald?
height.
Yeah, how
Yeah.
big that dude's head is.
Yeah.
He's got my same stats. He's my same height and weight.
What? How do you know he got his same rate?
Cause he looked at
Because he knows it's
when he
him.
saw the kids playing, he was
Yes.
truly stunned.
Well, yes.
Which I don't understand,
Jamal,
but I know he
Jamal.
played that game.
No, but I'm
Jamal.
saying, how you know that's your attribute?
Jamal, you know we used to play NCAA
Yeah,
and
I'm
we used to
just
be
saying,
like,
but how you know
I'm
this
Danny
is-
Werfel. Okay, we never called it Florida QB number 7. We said it's Danny Werfel.
Was
You know
he-
doggone well we didn't. I just sacked Danny
Was he
Werfel.
like Reggie Brooks? Like, oh, they left out
So
personalized
Scott-
my
Scott-
speed.
Okay, it was what year did UCLA win? It was
95.
It was 95 UCLA. Okay.
So long ago.
With
95
Charles and
UCLA.
Elliott and Tyus Edney
But to bring it around, he won
and
the
Toby
case.
Bailey.
Yeah, they had a little dark skinned number 10 with a flat
He
top.
won the case.
Okay, they had a light skinned dude jumping high. He knew it was his squad.
You knew it was this
It's his likeness, and the only reason why you would go back and play 95 UCLA is because you wanted to be Ed
So wanted
O'Bannon
to be Ed or ties in.
or anybody, and he realized, hold
The
up,
daughter wanted to be Virginia.
I ain't get paid for
Curtis
this.
Staples, baby.
I didn't get paid for
Junior Barrow.
this. So that's where it all
Harold
comes from.
Dean.
That's where it all comes from. O'Bannon successfully sued the NCAA.
For $1,500.
I pray not.
No, he sued him for
$15
He got
and a box of
$15.
envelopes.
No, for real. That's what he
The
said.
video
Everybody
stopped.
everybody got like $1,500.
Oh, well, I mean, once they broke it down, they got millions though.
Yeah, it was a seven.
But the thing that happened is they just stopped the video game.
But
They
once
killed
they
the video game.
disputed all the money, distributed,
Either way,
it was 15.
either way, the NCAA is dead wrong.
I'm sure
They have been though,
Yeah, for sure.
And
for several years now.
but that's
And,
California.
the state of
As a
California
as a record label,
is doing the
they
right
have
thing.
So
He's doing the right thing.
to move forward,
Yeah, please.
the issue with this decision is what with you? Besides the simple fact that you believe that they should be getting paid, what are some of the ramifications that could come from this?
Well, the likelihood that other states will follow California's lead. You see, California was the first to decriminalize marijuana.
Look at it.
And look at it now. So it's all over the place. So which states are next to do this? And can the NCAA threaten to kick everybody out?
Well,
not
he
even-
says-
not even kick people out, to not allow them to compete for national championships.
Well, actually, I'm sorry. For NCAA is really not a it's really
A person that puts on a tournament.
Yes, it's a governing board for a tournament.
Yes, and they sanction
They
the
really-
tournaments,
they
and
don't-
they're
they're
in
really
charge of the
sponsor.
bowl payouts. They're in charge of the bowl payouts.
They're really a
They're in
sponsor.
charge- No, because they're not even really a sponsor because they have a television deal. They have a television deal that the member schools get paid out of. So they're more than a sponsor.
And according to Mark Emmert,
But they don't really have that's why I don't understand. I'm sorry, but that's why I don't understand why people don't go if they so don't like the NCAA this much. Why do you don't go to the NIT?
because
Why don't
the
you do
NIT
anything
will
else?
not pay you
NIT is still
$10
an
for a ball
You mean
game.
why don't they go to the NAIA?
NAIA,
Because they don't want to go to
Montana.
Carroll University in Montana. Because nobody cares about that.
I was gonna say the
But-
NCAA.
But
According to Emmett, he is talking about banning 23 Division I schools in the state, as well as the private schools that were in there. We were discussing that earlier. So
Yeah,
he
it has
has
nothing to do
included
with private
UCLA,
public.
USC, Stanford, and Cal.
Yeah, it has
My
nothing to do
issue
with
is
private
that
public.
there's
Cal among them.
and Cal among them. Excuse me. My issue is that it's too many players. You can't ban the state. One, because they have entirely too many schools.
I was gonna say
They have enough
the
players and enough schools and enough money, it would appear, to literally start their own California league.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And you know what? With players able to do that, Me myself, I would choose being able to own my own
likeness
mind,
and still go through that.
rather than
A national
compete for a
championship.
damn national championship.
We can go back. They can be co-national championships again. You bring Utah in, you bring Oregon, you bring New Mexico, all that around there, because they're going to want to get paid as well.
Yeah, there's going to be other states that are going to pass this.
I assure you.
because it's the
And
right
then
thing to do.
Texas.
I
And
think
then it's over.
the NCAA made that.
When did Alabama jumped into this?
The NCAA made that threat.
Well,
Well, Alabama's not so against slavery.
The NCAA made that
Alabama,
threat,
Georgia.
thinking that they would be able to scare California into voting that down.
And other states. They want to make sure that nobody else.
But I assure
Not
you,
to interrupt.
I assure you
I don't know.
that if California
We got breaking news.
were to pass this, if California were to pass this bill, and the NCAA were to truly try to ban California, economically, the effects that they would feel economically would be so drastic that they would have to change their song. California is a huge state that generates again, we were talking earlier, we're talking about now you have venues such as the Rose Bowl that you will no longer be able to participate in. You have, we talked about, we just named UCLA
Which is all
has the most amount of national championships in the history of the NCAA in all sports.
Yeah, but they've already cut out the Rose
And then you
Bowl.
cut them out, and now you just got.
No, they haven't. The Rose Bowl's in the rotation. The
What are you
Rose Bowl's
talking
in the
about?
rotation.
It's one of the New Year's Six.
Yes, but
It's in the
that-
rotation for the
But
playoffs.
no, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's the
It's
Fiesta
what?
Bowl. No, it's not. It's the Fiesta Bowl. The
Well, you know they
Sugar Bowl.
swap bowls.
Yes,
though.
they switch
And
it up.
sometimes like the
The
Rose Bowl,
one
like this
that's
last
kicked
year,
out
it used to be the
every
regular
year.
Rose Bowl.
Kicked out
It's
Because
the
y'all had
Rose
last time.
Bowl. It's the Rose Bowl.
But you remember the year
Cotton
before,
Bowl,
Baker
Sugar Bowl,
Mayfield
the
and them
Fiesta
played in the
Bowl,
Rose Bowl.
It's
Yes.
5 of them, but they have 4 playoff game was 4.
the Peach Bowl.
So they
and-
have one that gets kicked out every time.
Yeah.
and
No,
it's
it
always the
doesn't- it
Rose
doesn't
Bowl.
get
Peach
kicked
Bowl,
out.
Well, one is not in the playoffs.
It
Not
doesn't
always, because remember Baker Mayfield and them, they played Georgia in the Rose Bowl too.
It doesn't
Right.
get kicked out. They
Yeah,
have
but
an additional
they want to.
game
They want
in
to.
that venue. So, for example,
playoffs.
if they
The
decide,
ones
so
they
if
have.
California bid, so if the Rose Bowl, California bids and they win the national championship game, after having the Rose Bowl, they then have the national championship game in the Rose Bowl the following week. The New Year's Six is the Rose Bowl, Cotton Bowl, Sugar Bowl, Fiesta Bowl, Peach Bowl, and who am I forgetting?
The Sugar Bowl.
The CarQuest Minikey.
The Sugar Bowl.
The
Bowl.
You didn't say the Sugar Bowl.
It said sugar.
I did say
Peach,
sugar.
sugar, cotton,
Rose.
And the Chick-fil-A Bowl.
Really?
I bet you.
Chick-fil-A is the Peach Bowl, the Fiesta Bowl,
Fiesta.
Orange Bowl.
and the Orange Bowl.
Orange Bowl.
So there you go.
Which lets you know how trash that stuff has become. You
Then we
really
can't
only
remember
care about
those.
the ones that have the playoffs.
Exactly.
Well,
That's
I
what I'm
mean-
saying. And LA has not had a playoff game in so long.
What you mean?
They haven't.
What are you talking about?
They haven't had a.
Okay, no.
That-
Hold on. But that's not even important. The important thing is
So
number
they
one, taking out some of the most well followed
Are they scoring?
and most important.
Right. That was you taking out the Pac-10 conference, the
Yeah.
Pac-12 conference.
Basically,
Who also
all-
plays their tournament in? Well, they were playing in LA. They moved it to Las Vegas.
The same Pac-12 conference they're saying is now weak than a.
Man,
That doesn't matter
historically,
because
it has
they're not
always
gonna
been
say
everything.
Apparently, America doesn't care about history.
Man, yes, America does care about it. I don't know what you thought. What you think we fighting over? We fighting over history.
No, we're fighting over keeping ours and
Hold
doing
on,
whitewashing.
hold on. The number one thing though in this is that what the NCAA is threatening is unconstitutional and illegal.
Sounds that way.
Although,
right.
I don't know if you noticed, but I don't nobody care about that.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
How is it unconstitutional?
It's a violation of the Sherman Act.
Who is
Because
Sherman?
It's an illegal form of wage fixing. All right, you cannot.
I mean, because the championship game.
The federal law, Roe versus Wade. Anyway,
What I'm saying,
black
black men don't care nothing about them being unconstitutional.
Yes, they-
No, they
yes,
don't.
they
They
do.
care
They
about
operate
things.
within.
They care about things being within their favor. And so the
I
moment,
understand.
the
that.
moment,
you have to operate within the law.
yes, the
Okay?
moment
and
that
the
they
NCAA
realize,
will get sued, they will go to the Supreme Court and they will lose this.
Yes.
will lose.
I don't
The
know.
news I was trying to
I
tell
don't
y'all
know.
earlier though is Julius Randle signed a 3-year, $63 million deal with the Knicks.
No.
So the Knicks finally got somebody.
Okay, they say they're going for Cousins.
So they got
So they got Kentucky Junior going. What
So they got R.J. Barrett and Julius Randle.
I mean, bro, you gotta get somebody because they were about to look really.
They still look poor.
Right.
Well, you're right, and they
Shout out to my little homie, little JY. Damian Dawson's still out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they still.
But to
they still
answer
hold
Jamal's
you.
question of who Sherman is, the Sherman Act is the antitrust law.
Okay, good deal. All right, I know what you're talking about. There we
Okay,
go.
so I'm talking
Bam, I
about
remember Sherman now.
law and what's
Thank you, thank
legal. So the NCAA will get sued if they actually go through with
Yeah,
it,
but who-
which I
okay.
think they won't.
Okay, so who do you think would sue them? Because
The
I'll take
California
All
Hey,
23, remember, all 23
I'm-
California
I'm saying
institutions
this.
will sue them.
I'm saying this because they're
The
gonna have to have a lot
DA
of
will
money.
sue them.
And
The state
all-
of
and-
California
and-
will
You think
sue
these
them.
schools don't have money?
USC,
Not as
Stanford,
long as
USC, Stanford, UCLA.
Hey,
Yes, they do.
even with
and the
their
California
attendance-
State University system and the University of California system.
The Attorney General.
I was gonna say the government is going to sue them.
Yeah.
even with
Like
their
so, they,
The
attendance-
state of
their money
California
is
will
true.
sue them.
even with their
California
attendance.
is one of the largest economies in the world.
I understand.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
But
and once you get to the Supreme Court,
with the
it
power,
doesn't matter.
with the power that NCAA has,
It doesn't matter.
now it does matter.
No, it does not. When you,
You
go
have
to
to
the
have
Supreme
long
Court.
bread.
Now they will
You
have,
have- you
they're
have
gonna
law
have to
in
have
effect.
another state coming in with them. I don't think they won't be. They can sue them and obviously make it an unconstitutional law. Blah blah blah.
Look.
Stop that from happening. But in order to win this, if the NCAA is adamant about doing this, they're gonna need another. They're gonna need Texas. They're gonna
No,
need.
they're not. The NCAA is not a federal institution. The NCAA cannot violate federal law. They cannot violate state law in the state of
The
California.
NCAA
As
can
long as
tell
those
them
member
that they
institutions.
are not a part of the membership.
Yes, you can.
That's all they have to do, which means you
Yeah.
have no national
Yeah.
championship,
Yeah.
which means you are now working outside
Right,
of the
right,
guidelines
right.
of what America
Right,
calls college football. So
And-
by all means, do whatever the hell you want to do
And
in
the school
California.
can tell me I can't go there because I'm black, but then I sue them and they have to allow me in there. What are you talking about?
No, but
No, but the
yeah.
It's the same
NCAA,
thing.
the
They violated
you're not qualified.
antitrust.
You're not qualified though.
No, you get to pick your member schools. They deny schools all the time.
They do. They deny schools for a specific set of reasons, but you cannot deny a school because they're following the law. In their
No,
state.
but you will find a reason to deny the school.
But you better find some other crazy loophole.
No,
you can't
that's-
say y'all are
Alright,
not
so-
violating the law and not participating in slavery. Because it's not even like the schools are paying the people. The
No,
people
no.
are going out getting their own
Most
money.
of them will not get paid.
I know,
The ones that
that's
will get
the
paid
joke.
are the good ones that are enough
Yes.
to either somebody wants their autograph or that are on a video game or that are on a TV
So
show.
how
or
much money
something
would
like
Reggie
that.
Bush and
Because-
Matt Leinart have been able to make?
Because
Tremendous amount.
because didn't Northwestern try this though?
No, they tried to start
No,
a
Western
union.
tried the
Right.
union.
They tried
I know,
to
but
use
I
it.
mean, but yes, but they tried to sue
No, but they tried
because
to
they
unionize.
wanted to
They
unionize.
sued
they're
to
not-
unionize,
Yeah.
not to be paid for their life.
Exactly.
But,
And then what
but yeah,
happens?
but they're not employees. The thing
Yeah,
is,
you can't-
the problem is that you're distinguished as a student athlete, and the NCAA has certain guidelines that say that you can't make money off of your record. Which, until somebody challenges it, nobody's going to do anything about it. You can have anything unconstitutional as long as nobody challenges it. But now it's being challenged. Once it's challenged, it has to go all the way up.
Well, it will more likely go off.
It's just gonna take 10 years.
It's got to be appealed and all
I
that.
don't think it's going to take 10 years.
Yeah,
I
'cause
think-
they're gonna have to get paid. They're gonna have to figure out
I
something.
think
They
it's going to
just
be
can't
fast
do
track.
it. They're gonna have to come up with some sort of.
Again, my
It's
position
a hard
is,
sword to fall on here.
the moment they realize the amount of money they have taken from themselves, they're going to soften their stance.
Yeah, because if they break away and make their own California league, and if other states jump in,
That's
which
the thing
they
though,
will.
but the California League would have to be sustainable. The California League would have to be good, otherwise
I was
you're
gonna
just
say,
playing like
with
high
26 schools, you
You're
don't
just
think
playing
it's
tag.
sustainable?
It would be 100%.
But no, you can't just be.
No, well,
No, I mean, sustainable is a bad word.
It may
It
not
would have to
be-
be exciting. It would have to be entertaining. People would have to want to
I would
come.
say it may not be
Nobody's
parity.
gonna come to Santa Barbara and St. Mary's just because I live in California.
You'd be surprised.
Hold on. That's the same thing now. It's not really so much about Santa Barbara and St. Mary's. It's about UCLA.
Yeah, but you also
Yeah,
said
so
Even
USC.
San Diego
But check
State.
this out.
Cal State
You
Fullerton.
in Fresno
But guess
State.
what? Guess what would
Big
happen?
football school.
You know who had a feeding frenzy? Alabama, Georgia, Michigan,
What feeding principle?
Florida.
As far as them getting
that's
they
the
would,
country.
they would take those players.
No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't.
No, half of those players won championships.
Half the players, you think they'll take championships over money?
You're not getting paid,
The
bro.
potential to get money because you're going to be able to get some
You're
money.
gonna be able to get
because
some money.
somebody's going to want to
Okay, who's the second string quarterback for Alabama?
I don't know.
Who's the second string quarterback for Clemson?
I don't know.
Exactly, which means why?
But I do know their first string quarterback, and guess what? If he decides he want to go get paid, he can go.
And that's cool, which means that second string will come up. All I'm saying is that there are people
Who cares? The
that
second
will not
string.
get paid. If you're not being paid,
Okay.
you're not going to want to play for
No.
a loss.
But okay, check it out. If I'm a 5-star recruit coming out of any
It's not
state,
Thank you.
and I know I'm a 5-star recruit, and I can go to California somewhere and play and possibly make money, I'm going there.
And we
Or when
still
it's
talking about
dumb ass-
football. What about basketball?
So-
Then I can still get
So
drafted.
you're going to go to USC.
I can still get
you're
drafted.
gonna go to
And I can
get
be
drafted.
paid.
And I can be
Guess what?
paid
You're
before
going
I
to go
get
to
drafted.
USC,
Hey,
you're
time
going to
out.
sit behind Deshaun
No.
Watson, let's say, and you're going to sit
I was gonna
behind
say-
Reggie Bush as the running back,
I was
let's
gonna say,
say.
no,
You're
you're
not
not.
going to do that.
I can still make an appearance somewhere if
Nah,
they say the
you're going
UCLA
to
football
Alabama.
team.
You're going to
is
Alabama.
Dave Herman
Yeah, but you're
Chevrolet.
not getting. You're gonna get
Yes, you will.
$5. Deshaun Watson's gonna get $500.
You're going
And
to
next
Okay,
year,
so what?
and next
So
year,
what?
guess where I go?
So what? That
Guess
happens
where I
with
go
the
next year? I
That
go pro.
Texas.
No, but that happens with the Houston Texans. Yeah, Deshaun Watson shows up, he gets 5,000 or 10,000, but you know,
But you
Who's the kicker? Whoever the
Yeah.
Texas kicker gets.
he gets 100.
Thank you.
That's
Yes.
more than nothing.
Yeah, no, more than nothing by far, but is it enough? That's the question.
It's more than enough.
It's a more than enough compared to getting nothing.
If I go to Kansas State and don't get Jack Squat,
Look,
And didn't play for another championship.
What do you mean get Jack Squat? You're getting paid.
Who getting paid?
You're getting paid.
the boy from
yeah.
Alabama.
And guess
You
what?
get paid.
And guess what? The boosters at UCLA and USC will still pay you too. Plus, you can make your own damn.
Man, we already know.
And still go pro the next year.
Good.
And I can still.
Go pro next year.
No, these kids. Come on now. You know these kids are trying to
But
go to
no,
Alabama.
But no, it's not even that. Do you know the Central Florida kicker who has the YouTube page where they tried to take his money from because
Yeah,
he
I
had a
heard
damn
about that.
gaming page or whatever on YouTube?
I think I've heard about them.
Remember that?
Yeah.
You can even do that if you got enough sense.
Man, y'all remember the boy
I
from
can do a
Colorado
sports
who
talk
was a
show.
steal?
I can do an internet sports talk show and say I'm the third string running back for USC.
Yeah.
Okay, listen to my show because I know what the hell I'm talking about.
I understand,
But
but
Johnny Alexander, you can go sell your autographs now or sell some
Any of that.
of your merch.
You can sell your golden pants
Yes.
like at Ohio
You can
State.
give your jersey away for a free tattoo.
No, I'm talking about like,
like Florida.
I mean, what's the point? Like, getting money and the possibility of getting money and free stuff is better than not. And who cares about a national championship?
I'm not even
Water
saying.
down here.
I,
It's not
see,
even
that's
true.
that's not my. I didn't say anything about national championship.
But that's all the
I'm talking about
NCAA is threatening.
exposure. Alabama will give you exposure. They have.
UCLA will give you exposure.
We still talking about
not
just
like
football.
Alabama.
There's a Pac-12 network.
You know what I'm talking about? Football.
Well, yeah, I know what
Yeah,
you're
but I'm talking about the entire state in all sports. Do you know how much money that actually entails?
Hey, hold on.
Because you
hold
got to
on,
remember,
hold on.
in California, baseball is huge. It may not be in other parts of the
No,
world.
no, but check it.
They-
Hold
they
on,
didn't
hold on,
look
hold
at
on.
that.
No, no, no,
Volleyball
no, no.
is huge,
No, no,
male
no.
and female.
Hold on, hold
They're
on,
not
hold
even
on,
that
hold
good
on, hold on,
anymore.
hold on.
Penn State's good in that.
Hold on, but despite that, check this. Okay, so
Baseball, they weren't even in
let's say I'm a
conference series.
swimmer at UCLA.
There's not a swim
Okay,
team.
okay, all right. Let's get technical. Who got a damn swim team?
You
in
can say
California?
SC. You can say
Cal
SC.
or SC. One of them.
SC, Cal, Stanford.
Okay, so I'm a swimmer. All right. Okay.
You're a swimmer.
I'm a well-known swimmer. I got silver in the NCAA's last year.
You're not
or
gonna get
whatever.
paid.
Huh? Yes,
You're
I
not
will.
gonna
You know how I'm gonna get paid? I'm gonna get paid.
How? Please tell me.
Because I'm Bill Jones swimmer and I do swim lessons
And not only
in the
that,
summer.
not only that,
And I
Speedo
can
can
use
pay
the
me
fact,
now.
and Speedo can pay me.
Speedo can pay me now.
And I can use the fact that I am a swimmer at UCLA to teach your kids to swim for $45 an hour.
And I might can get a private school,
In the summer.
I might can get a
I
private
can
pool
get a job,
company
yeah.
to put my name on their freaking pool.
You can do that now.
No, you can't.
Not as a
You
college
can't make
athlete.
that
Actually, you can.
No, you can't.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
You can't say I am a swimmer.
Listen.
And I have my own
You
business.
can
No,
because
you can't.
they don't generate the money.
Who
You
does?
can.
Who doesn't generate the money?
Swimming doesn't generate the money.
No, but you can't because
All
you're
this-
under the
this is why
NCAA
it's
and
such
you're
a
getting
big-
a scholarship,
This is why
so
it's
you
such
still
a,
can't
this is
work.
why it's such
You
a
can't
big
use
thing.
your likeness.
This is why it's such a big
It's the
thing.
same
It's about the number one sport.
No,
I promise you it is.
it's about everything. Because
yes,
know,
for us it is.
The
yes.
swimmer cannot say while he's at UCLA, I'm a swimmer at UCLA, I'm offering swim lessons $45 an hour. He cannot do that at this point, whether it's a revenue generating sport or not. They have no different distinction amongst the rules of the NCAA.
But I'm
They
saying
have no different
he
distinction.
can because
No, he cannot.
When
He
you're-
would be ruled ineligible and would never be able to swim again in the NCAA.
But I'm telling you, even with the stuff they're trying to get kids paid now, they're only breaking it down between football and basketball.
Right, but what I'm telling you,
Those
is
people who do not generate those sports.
No, that's
But that's
what
what
the
we're saying. That's what you
NCAA
underestimate.
I'm talking about me going out getting my own contract with a private company.
Right. Then what we're
That
saying
has
is-
nothing to do with the NCAA paying me.
and I think that's what the NCAA is also underestimating because they're saying the entire states in all sports.
If I'm a sprinter and I want to do a damn
In
speed
all sports, do you know how much money when you actually
I mean-
consider that in its totality?
When
How
your
much
state's down.
money that truly is?
Yes, but when your state's down in your sports, they can kind of do it.
No, they cannot.
Yeah.
They will not be able to get rid of the state of
Hey, I'll
California.
assure
They will
you,
not.
One thing
if
I
I'm
don't-
a top recruit out of California, and yeah, Miami might want me to come out there, but California got this new league that lets me make money, I'm staying home.
But if
And
Alabama
legal
comes
money.
out there,
And not no bullcorn money.
But
where
that
they can just
money that I know I'm
run
not gonna get in
but
trouble
if
for making,
Saban comes out there, what you gonna do?
that's completely different.
No,
How is that
Saban
different?
comes out where?
If Saban comes to a California school,
Yeah,
they definitely gonna stay.
No,
They
I'm not,
definitely
no,
gonna
I'm
leave.
saying recruit. You said if you're a recruiter.
I assure you, if
I'm not
these
going to
players-
Alabama.
We talking about California, home of Hollywood. All right.
They're down.
And I don't know how many
Everybody's
Californians you know. The ones I know, they quite Hollywood.
and they're down.
The ones who are in California,
And they're leaving.
even if Saban comes out there, that's because right now all things are equal. If Saban comes out there now and California has the option of being able to make money off of their likeness, ain't nothing Saban can do about that unless he gonna give his boosters to come do something illegal.
If I'm the top
No,
recruit
I
in
would
Texas
like
or
to say-
Mississippi, I'm going to California.
What?
If I'm the top recruit in Alabama, I'm going to California.
Texas, Florida,
He's gonna say the same-
Montana.
Canada, don't
No,
matter.
watch this.
I'm going. Show me the money.
Watch this, Nigel. He's going to say the same thing y'all just said in the first argument about Kentucky.
That's
Look how much. No,
things being
look where I just.
equal.
I'm put you.
Exactly.
Look where I'm about to put you.
Right.
That's all
First
things
round.
being equal.
You're not putting me
You're not
anywhere.
putting me anywhere if
I
I
can
stay
still
with
go
you
first
now
round out
for
here.
3 years. I gotta wait 3 years to be paid when I can stay here in California and get
many people-
$300 a month.
And
How
you're
many
not
people are
guaranteed.
staying there
Staying where?
already?
That's
Stay
with
where?
all things being
Ain't
equal.
nothing equal.
And
Yes, in
yes,
Alabama and any other state.
None of them can make money off their likeness right now.
right.
None of them.
So the
But
California.
if there's a state that has the option that can versus a state that cannot, where you think they going?
the kids will flock there.
When again, if we talking about football, then yeah, okay, maybe. But basketball, we already seeing it. These boys not even going to the NCAA now. They going overseas to go get
I can
paid.
get a shoe contract.
Why? Why are they getting?
Because they want money.
Right.
What money are they? No, I'm just saying. What money are they getting?
What
They
money
get
you
more than
get?
they getting in the NCAA.
Okay, you just said if you get $300 a month, they like what? I'm not going there neither.
Come on.
You just said that.
You can get $300 a month, or you can get $3,000 a month. It
You
really
can get
doesn't matter.
whatever. You can get whatever you
It's
get a
up to
month
you.
versus getting nothing a month.
I
Telling
get
you,
to
you
market
need to speak to
myself.
these athletes.
I get to market myself.
What you talking about?
They are quite particular about their money. They won't just go for any money.
I assure you, they not gonna go for. I'll go ahead and take my chances getting none versus let me get what I can get now.
Because you're not
But as
guaranteed.
Saban, Calipari, and all that.
That's with things being all
It's not
equal.
equal. They are the majority.
What you mean they the majority? How they the majority?
They put the majority players in the league.
Because no other state can pay.
Yes.
It doesn't
If
matter.
there is a state that
doesn't
can
matter.
pay
If I can-
versus them state that cannot, I'll assure you.
It's
I'll
opportunities.
assure you.
It's opportunities.
Yes,
Yes,
with
it's
all
opportunities.
things being equal.
You can assure all you want. Opportunity. People are still sitting. Since
I'm still going to get
listen,
the exposure because guess what? The NCAA cannot stop Alabama from scheduling Cal.
Everybody should have
Cal
left.
from scheduling
Everybody
Alabama.
should have left and went to the AAF. Everybody should have. That's getting paid.
No.
No, it's not close to the same. What are you talking about? How is it not? That's a professional league that's getting paid. All those leagues, you could got paid easily.
First off, the AAF didn't. No, what are you talking about?
That
That doesn't even make any sense.
Nobody's going. How does it not make sense? So I was just jump on California. What money they gonna get? They ain't got no. Hey, if you talk about this fluctuate, they ain't even got the infrastructure for that.
What?
They won't have infrastructure for that for their own league for all these kids jumping just to California.
How do they not have the
What are you
infrastructure?
talking about? All sports. We are not talking. They already have their own leagues in certain things. They already have their own volleyball leagues. They already have their own baseball leagues. They got all kind of stuff already. That's what I'm saying.
What, professional?
Yes.
Where? In California. In California.
Yes, in California.
Hold on. I
You
don't
never heard of these
understand
leagues?
what is California not going to be able to do? So are you telling me that UCLA, USC,
How many- okay.
San Diego State are not going to be able to effectively schedule to play each other, have the venues to play each other at,
They're
be
not
able
even
to travel? What are you talking
They're
about?
not even
It's so easy.
going to have the infrastructure to take the onslaught of kids that are supposed to flow over there.
They're not going to take everybody.
They're gonna take the home kids.
They're going to have the 100 football
You
players
think
like they do
they
now.
are?
They're going to have the
You just said if they have the opportunity. This is what y'all are saying.
They're only allowed
If I
to
had
take
the
so many
opportunity-
kids anyway.
If
So they
I
don't
had-
have to take 300 kids if 300 kids want to go. You take the top 100 of that 300. You don't need
There's
their
going to be
infrastructure.
more than 300 kids.
You don't have to take them.
Why you
What are you?
doing?
What are you talking about? You don't have to take the kids. What do you
Okay,
mean?
so those kids are going to have a better opportunity in the pros, like they do
What are
now.
you talking about? They will get the top 100 kids
Of who?
of whoever wants to go make some money. So they'll still be able to recruit Alabama and Florida and Texas. And guess what? I would rather go out there where I could possibly make money than go to Florida State.
Not
Go
to
to
mention,
Texas.
we don't keep saying these other schools, but Alabama. Y'all keep saying these all
Because
these
Alabama in all actuality has
Okay.
nothing but football. We're talking about all sports.
Hold on.
No.
Or Alabama. They would take people from Alabama.
You
People
think
from
boys from Hoover, Alabama is not going to go to California
Nah.
and go get paid?
Not Hoover, because Hoover sucks. Now name somebody else. Name somebody else.
Tuscaloosa.
No, they're staying right there.
How
You
does
know
Hoover? What are you talking about? Hoover sucks.
You
Hey, when you almost all of Alabama's team from Hoover.
No, they're not. Man, no,
better
they're
look
not.
at their roster.
No, you better look at their roster. No,
Man,
they're not.
stop it.
Hoover sucks.
Come on, you talking in circles. I don't understand
How
what you're talking
you
about.
figure? Y'all are so stuck on what y'all are saying. How do you really figure? How do you really? Because it's proven that kids, even if at a better institution,
With
have
all
better
things
opportunity.
being equal. We're talking about with nobody being able to get paid.
Yeah.
If we
It doesn't
talking,
matter.
we're not talking,
It
yes it
These
does.
kids would still rather take that chance.
No, it's not. How you saying the kids are still rather when they not doing it now? You got kids going pro now.
You have nothing.
Kids going pro.
You have nothing
Two.
to compare it to.
Two
Is what
kids.
I'm saying. You
Two
have
kids.
nothing
It ain't
to
no
compare
two
it to.
kids. You got
They want
kids
that
going
game
pro
change.
now.
Name one.
The Balls did it. These two kids that just committed to it. It was kids doing it before that.
And
The
they're-
LeBron and them was doing it when they had that option. When they had the option of not going to the NCAA and going pro. That's why we got a LeBron. That's why we got a Kevin Garnett.
And
Or
then what
Kobe
happened?
Bryant.
And then what
That's
happened? And then what happened?
So then the moment they couldn't do it any longer, then yes, they had to go to school. And guess what they starting to do now? They're starting to go overseas and do it.
And
You had Brandon Jennings do it.
Trash.
You had this other, call it what you want, he did it.
Trash or not, it doesn't
Trash
matter.
or not, he did it.
Because you never know how any of these people are going to develop anyway. So you can say trash
Exactly.
all you want.
But I want y'all to imagine, on top of that, you got these kids literally going to school for one semester. Because they know they're going to pro.
Which is why I would rather
Exactly.
go to USC
So
where
why
I could
would I-
potentially make a name for myself even
Why
if
would
my
I
football
go to a
doesn't work
California
out.
squad?
Because so many kids
To
go to
a
Alabama.
second tier professional.
You don't know if this going to be.
Oh,
Not
stop
to
it.
mention, we still talking about USC, UCLA.
They're
We're
not
talking
second
about-
tier.
We're
They're
not
top
talking
notch.
about. We're not talking about Cal State, Fullerton, and San Jose State.
And guess who would be able to bring back football?
Who?
Cal State, Fullerton, and all those teams.
Oh my God.
Because they would have a
UCLA
much
has,
better
on your so-called same playing field, UCLA is trash in football.
At the
USC
moment. They weren't 10 years ago.
This ain't 10 years.
And they won't.
They weren't. Not only were they not 10 years ago, guess what they were called 10 years ago?
What?
The professional football team of LA.
Okay, I don't go by what media. They still call everything that's a scandal gate.
And
So I don't
first
go
off-
with nothing like that anyway.
And first off,
That's all they
it
do with
ebbs
that.
and flows. So it's not like Alabama's
They
gonna be the
Alabama,
team
Alabama,
forever.
10 years ago, Alabama wasn't what they are now. And I imagine in a few more years, when Nick Saban's gone, they won't be what they are
Nick
again.
Saban has a lifetime contract now.
He ain't got no life.
Nick Saban down there 70. He ain't got much life.
I just say he ain't.
He ain't got much life.
Okay,
left.
Alabama one of them people.
We'll have to leave it there, guys.
Alabama one of them people that saving Android or something. It's a cyborg. He ain't going
We're
nowhere.
back to Milwaukee on a 3-year, $29 million deal.
Look at stats
Yeah.
coming in with the
They come
stats.
in with something that
Who?
George Hill.
George
back
Hill
with
with
the-
Milwaukee. They were gonna waive him. What happened to that?
Yes, since they got that, did the signing trade with Malcolm Brogdon, freed up some money. So,
So I traded Brogdon where?
traded Brogdon
Philadelphia,
to
Did you say
Pacers.
Oh, so that's right. To Indianapolis.
Pacers.
With Villa Vic.
They got some future picks for him. So.
All right, man. You listening to the Garage Apartment? We're here each and every Sunday night from 6 to 7 Central Standard Time.
I don't know. These people making too many moves. I think.
Y'all be sure to check us out. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Man, we
hold on. Our colleague said that Hoover sucks. Well, okay,
Come on, man. We 2 minutes
Number
over.
one recruit in the Southeast is from Hoover, Alabama.
What was their
wide
squad?
receiver.
What was their squad? A
It
wide
doesn't matter.
receiver.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, now it doesn't
He's
matter.
number
What was
4
their
in the
squad?
nation. He's number 4 in the nation.
What you mean, what was
But
their
Hoover
squad?
sucks.
You said Hoover sucks.
But
I
Hoover
did.
sucks.
That don't make
But
his.
Hoover sucks.
What happened to Alabama last year? What happened to their wide receiving core?
What are you saying?
Yeah, I don't even.
So what?
They got
Because
locked down.
The high school team sucks because the college team
No,
lost the national
no,
championship.
I'm saying those are the same people that went. You're like all of them are from Hoover. Guess what? They got trashed in the national
They
championship.
played in the national championship. Stop it.
Because it's already set up for them to go.
No, now it's already said.
I've already said if it's not the Alabama national championship, they don't care what anybody else does.
Alabama is only good in. Oh wait, I take it back. They have an outstanding girls gymnastic team.
Okay, but forget about Alabama. Like, why are we talking about
Because they
Alabama?
bring
Hey man, we
in-
gotta go. We'll keep this up later, man. Y'all be sure to check us out. Y'all stay blessed.
Everybody
Be good. If you can't be good, then be good at it, man. We'll have to holler. We'll keep this going. I don't know. We might have an after show. We might have a midweek show that starts today and go all the way to the end of the week. I don't know, man. Y'all be good. Y'all stay blessed. We'll holler at y'all.
Are these dudes here?
I don't know.
I don't know, bro. I think because they just had an open house not too long ago.
I thought that
Yeah,
was
this Friday. This past
that was Blessed Beach, wasn't it?
No, that was this station.
Oh, you think they left?
They could have. I mean,
No,
They
it
may-
says Sunday music study's still on, yeah.
they may be out of here like, yo, you recorded enough to bam, bam, bam.
Did nobody get their number?
New number.